Alright, hello people. So I'm doing this kind of vlogging thing, I guess. That's kind of new for this channel, but anyway, I got a couple things that I wanted to show you guys today, so why don't you come along for a little ride? It's all going to be tech related, but not exactly reviews or just a full-on video. I'm going to be updating I'm going to show you guys what's in my studio. It's still a work in progress, but my kind of new studio is almost complete, which I'm sure some people might be interested in. And also actually the main reason of this vlog really is to talk about why I switched from the Sony A7 III to the Fujifilm XT3. I think some people would be interested in a topic like that, so let's get to that. But right now I'm only in my bedroom, which is now full of space. If you watch this channel for a while now, you know that for a period of time my bedroom was a complete mess. And that's because I was filming and all my lights and stuff were in here. Now that I've taken up the attic kind of room upstairs, it feels good to have my bedroom back, and it feels a bit more homely and empty, which I think is nice. XT3 rig. Okay, so on with the main video topic for today. The title of this video is why I sold the Sony A7 III for the Fujifilm XT3. It's all rigged up here like that. I still need to get like a side handle for it. Might buy kind of some sort of battery power for the whole damn thing, but basically this is my whole XT3 rigged out, which looks, I think, hella cool. You got a Sigma 1835 on there with the Fringer EF FX adapter and a small rig cage handle and a cheap fuel S7 monitor on there. So yeah, this is my XT3, and the whole point of this video is why the hell I sold my Sony A7 III, which many people think is one of the best cameras for YouTube, one of the best cameras for just a amateur or semi-pro, you know, video maker and creative. Well, and also why did I downgrade from from a full frame to a APS-C camera? Well, the answer is actually kind of simple, but not that simple. So it's simple in that, you know, the reasons make perfect sense, I think, once you hear them. So hear me out. But they're not so simple because there are many of these reasons. So let's start off with the first one. So the first one is lenses. For the price of the Sony A7 III in my area with the 28mm f2 prime, which is not a very good lens, I could buy this whole setup right here. I can buy an 1835 f1.8 from Sigma, which gives me basically 3 different prime lenses in one. I can get an adapter, and I can get the XT3 with batteries secondhand. And so that's the first reason. It's lenses. Lenses are crazy important for making good videos, and the ability to have good lenses was very important to me, because I'll start with that boring 28mm prime with the Sony, which undoubtedly has served me pretty well, but this setup is way more versatile, and for the same price I get I get great results as well. Sure, the depth of field is not going to be as amazing as a full frame camera, because it is an APS-C rig, but because it is an APS-C setup, I can use APS-C lenses on here, which means they're going to be much cheaper than if I use full frame lenses on the full frame Sony. Another option I was considering at the time was to buy a 24-70 f2.8 from Sigma and just use it with my Sony camera, but then a few other reasons made me reconsider the whole thing, and I'm going to talk about them. Now, another reason I switched from the Sony A7 III to the Fuji XT3 is 10-bit color. I've been learning and getting into color grading recently, trying to up my color grading game. Sure, I'm still not good at it, but I am trying to do color grading. I'm trying to learn it, actually how to do it from scratch in DaVinci Resolve and things like that. And you can't do that much when you're stuck on 8-bit color on a camera like the Sony A7 III. Sure, the colors are pretty okay, especially if you shoot something like HLG, but if you're trying to grade more aggressively, have a particular style with it, 8-bit just crumbles, it just falls apart, it just dies instantly. This shoots 10-bit internally, which was important because I don't want to go out and spend more money on something like an Atomos recorder. I shoot 10-bit internally up to 4K 60 420. If you want 422, you need an external recorder, but I don't need 422, I just need 10-bit. That's actually more important. Okay, so that is reason number 2, 10-bit color. And the third reason is one that I've already talked about like 10 seconds ago, and that is 4K 60. This camera does 4K 60. A7 III doesn't do 4K 60. Now 4K isn't the most important thing in the world for YouTube in terms of, you know, really anything, okay? Because 4K, sure, it looks much sharper. Most people are watching on their phones, and if they're watching on their phones, they're not gonna notice the difference between 1080 and 4K. But I like shooting 4K because of future-proofing, because of how it looks on my big screen, because I want to watch a 4K video. I want to upload something that I like watching, and having it 4K just enhances the experience. And then there's another thing about professionalism and the final product of my channel. Sure, my content might be good, which it isn't, honestly, and it might get thousands of views, but if I'm shooting 1080 with poor camera work, poor lighting, and it looks like crap, then I'm gonna give off a less professional vibe, which sucks because this channel is related to you know, filmmaking and all that kind of stuff. So the ability to have something to show that, oh, okay, I'm not completely an idiot behind the camera. In fact, I'm quite proficient to a certain extent, is important to me. And being able to shoot 4K 60 is great because then I don't have to choose between shooting 1080p and 4K 30. The thing about the Sony A7 III is that you're only limited 4K 30, so if you want to do any sort of slow-mo handheld B-roll, which is what I like doing, I can't do that with the Sonys because I have to shoot in 1080p, and I'm not a fan of 1080p, especially on the Sonys. They do look quite a bit soft. The Sony A7 III 1080p footage looks very soft to my eyes, although it might not be, but to me, don't really like how it looks. So 4K 60 on this, brilliant. The next reason I like this camera over the Sony A7 III is ergonomics. It's just better designed for stills and video. You've got a dedicated mode for video, so the settings don't get messed up between different modes. There's awesome things like that. And I like how all the dials are tactile and film camera-like. A lot of people talk about this with Fuji film cameras, and I agree. That kind of aesthetic and feel that a Fujifilm camera does have is very good. So absolutely love how the XT3 has dials for ISO, shutter speed, and with this fringe adapter it has dials for aperture, which is great. So all in all, I like the ergonomics more on the XT3 for those reasons, just much better. So yeah, those are the couple of reasons why I switched from the Sony A7 III to the Fuji XT3. Now stay tuned if you want to see a video about my Fujifilm XT3 rig, and stay tuned if you want to see a full-on in-depth studio tour about everything in this room, because there's a lot of things that's going on in this room that I'm very excited about. I'm planning to make it look really good, sound really good, and become like a really good dedicated studio. But till that day happens, till then you're just gonna have to subscribe, stick around and wait for it, because this channel is going to continue pumping out different tech videos, from cameras to audio to PCs. So if you're interested in any of those, just subscribe. First off, this is the hella messy area of the room. This is on one side, and it's kind of where the main standing filming set is. And because it's a standing set and the table's not usually included in the shot, it ended up being very messy. Like, look at all that stuff. Look at all that stuff. It's messy, but you don't see in the videos, so I don't care. Also, I haven't gotten the shelves and drawers that I need to store all this stuff, so that is my excuse for why it's so messy. But if you want to see what's on the table, then some of the things here you might actually be familiar with. This is the i7-4930K and X79 motherboard, as well as 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM from the Drifting PC Challenge. So you might know that if you've been following my channel for a while. These are the Black Dot 2 earphones that I'm doing a giveaway for, which I know a lot of people would know what these are. And this is a Cooler Master Watt 550 watt bronze power supply for the PC build that's being uploaded this weekend. Over here we got an LED panel. This is what I use to light my face. I bounce the light off the wall so that you kind of get this soft lighting on my face. I can even demonstrate it now. So this is the light off, and this is the light on. Obviously I'm getting a lot of light from the outside, so there's light coming on both sides of my faces. But as you can see, the light from the wall now is very soft, as opposed to harsh lighting if it was direct from the LED panel. So you have more flattering shadows, and overall it makes your face look much nicer. So this is a trick, guys. If you want to make YouTube videos and you don't have money for a lot of diffusion for your lights, try using walls to bounce and diffuse a strong hard light source so that you get more flattering light on your face. This slanted wall here helps a lot because it kind of like angles it like it's a softbox. Any wall should help with that light diffusion, and bouncing it off a white wall is one of the cheapest ways to get good, soft, diffused lighting. So there's that. So down here you got a bunch of other stuff. You've got some boxes, some cases, and this is my charging area. It recharges me in more ways than one. So we got battery chargers all in this little area here. I know it's a bit of a mess, but I am working to solve it. And then we have this right here, which is Ribena. It charges my body up, which is great. And then we've got a dry box here with my camera equipment. It's supposed to be. And this is a PC that I've built, and the video will be uploaded this weekend. This is the Coolmaster ML320 ARGB case. It's actually very interesting and honestly quite an interesting purchase. Now moving clockwise in the room right here, you've got a rack. The rack has a bunch of stuff. It's kind of a mess, but once I get all the things set up and placed on here, it should look very, very nice, so stay tuned for that. And then once we go clockwise, we got more paintings, and we got this nice little music stereo setup with an Arturia keyboard, my headphone stand, and of course the Fujifilm XT3, which we're talking about today, so stay tuned for that. Got a chair, got a carpet, and then we got this kind of podcast almost set-like thing over here, which hopefully actually works out to be an interesting set. But yeah, that's the plan for this room. This is kind of a chill room where you can just hang out and chat. Or you can also make videos and be creative in here. So that's the whole purpose of this room. And that's the whole thing I'm trying to do with this setup. Very, very happy. There's still a bit too much echo in this room for my tastes. But once we get a new rug down there, we should be all Gucci when it comes to sound, at least to a large extent. If there is anything that you think you might be interested in this channel, just subscribe. Although, you can go subscribe to Gerald Undan, he does way better videos than me. That's it for this video though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna head out. If you have any questions you wanna ask me on Instagram and Discord, link down below in the description. See you soon. Bye.